Super Bowl Sunday is over, and the Giants are victorious, as predicted, I think. We'll talk more about the Patriots-Giants rivalry. Will Tom Brady ever beat Eli Manning?
Don't know. I hope there's another chance, though.
I don't know.
And people are talking about the Clippers' curse being back. And also, now that Kobe has passed Shaq as the all-time points leader, does that make him the best Laker ever?
I don't know. We have big news to talk about, though, at Marymount College. They're adding more sports and competing in a new division. You're a big college sports guy, Will.
I'm an Oklahoma Sooner.
Sure, nothing else to do in Oklahoma.
And now it's time for spring training. You're excited about that?
I am
The Angels
excited.
and the Dodgers are reporting as we speak right now, and Clayton Kershaw gets a $19 million payday.
That's pretty good.
And is Albert Pujols worth all that money the Angels paid him, even if they win the World Series?
People are wondering.
We'll see.
We're going to talk about that and much, much more coming up on Playing the Field. Don't you go away. Hello and thanks for joining us. I am Maria Sorreo, joined by Will Lupartis. Will, so great to see you.
You too.
So great to talk about that Super Bowl game.
I know. Are you kind of sad the NFL's all done now?
I am kind of sad the NFL's all done because I feel like there's nothing until baseball starts, so this month is kind of that weird. There's a little bit of basketball, but you know they've been on the road and the All-Star break, and yeah, kind of like scrambling for sports right now.
But I thought it was one of the best Super Bowls, well, since the last Patriots-Giants game.
You know, at the end, I thought was amazing, just like the last ending, like you said 4 years ago. But you know, it's just so ironic that Tom Brady's such a good quarterback, and yet Eli Manning has beat him twice.
Yeah, and Giselle had a lot to say about that.
She
because
did
his
afterward.
receivers couldn't catch the ball. That's why they lost. But
That's what she said. But you know something? They were at a private party. They were in a private room, and someone shot that on their camera phone. That is so rude to do that, really.
Well, the reason why the Giants won, it was a similar, you know, they got a little lucky in 2008.
They did.
When they
right.
got that Super Bowl victory
That's
over the
right.
Patriots.
The catch on the helmet. You know what? I think it came down to time in the game as well. And as you and I talked about before the Super Bowl, I don't think the Patriots' defense was as good as it was 4 years ago. I really don't. A lot of the guys were gone, of course, the Rodney Harrisons and the Junior Seaus. And I think that you could kind of tell from the onset of the Super Bowl that they weren't as good as they were before. You know, Eli Manning went right down the field, and it was like, oh, okay, is this going to be a high-scoring game? And then we saw the defenses step up a little bit, but I don't know. I never felt like they really got in a groove, the Patriots. Toward the end of the first half a little bit, but not to win the game.
Right. I mean, it was a modest score. They didn't
right.
let the score run up. But I was surprised by the last play, the last Giants touchdown play,
yes.
where you know they wanted him to score. They needed to get the ball back so they could let Tom Brady have that last drive, which was obviously unsuccessful. But Victor Cruz tried to just kind of lie in the end zone because he was kind of iffy if he should even score the touchdown or not, because they could have gotten the field goal in the last second and let Tom Brady not ever have the ball again.
And how crazy was it that the very first play of the game was a safety? A first time in Super Bowl history that was a safety, and I guess there was a guy who bet in Vegas. He put $1,000 at 50 to 1. That's a good payday.
It's a good bet.
That's a pretty good payday right there.
That's right. And I mean, the Giants are the ones with the really big payday because they've beaten the mighty Patriots, who have won 3 Super Bowls in the last dozen years.
Is it crazy? I know.
To beat them twice, that puts Eli Manning up in the kind of the legends, I think.
Well, we're going to see. I mean, I think that you have to be around a while before you're actually a legend. All this, you know, is he better than this? Is he better than? They haven't even. Their careers are still in the middle. We don't even know. Yeah. They may play another 5 years. We'll see. You know, the big story coming out of the NFL season, of course, is going to be Peyton Manning. The other Manning brother looks like he won't stay as a Colt. He won't stay in Indianapolis. So I think in the offseason, he's going to be the biggest NFL story.
And there's a lot of talk about him going to the Arizona Cardinals.
That would be close to us.
It'd make the NFC West that much more interesting.
He could go to the Cowboys if he'd like. I'd take him on easily.
You would get rid of Romo.
Yeah, you know, Romo's golfing with Tiger Woods. I think maybe he should take up golf as his new career.
Yeah, just forget
Do a
football.
little switching around. Yeah, why
as long as he forgets football, right?
Okay, there is a little bit of basketball to talk about, I guess, right?
Yeah, moving on to the Clippers.
Yes.
There is some bad news, unfortunately. Chauncey Billups is out for the season with a torn Achilles tendon.
Yes.
And the Clippers have a lot of talent, but do they have enough, do you think, to do that surge in the playoffs and even win an NBA championship like people were kind of hoping? Definitely Clippers fans were hoping, but legitimate NBA analysts were picking the Clippers to win it all, or at least go to the finals. And now Chauncey is
he's a huge part
leader
of that.
that's gone.
And something that we've noticed going into the locker room, Chauncey is such a leader with the younger players. I mean, Chris Paul, they're like, you know, family, and I don't know what's going to happen without Chauncey, you know, playing on the court with him all the time. But, you know, they've got Mo Williams, they've got Chris Paul, you know, Blake, DeAndre. They just got, who did they just get?
Kenyon Martin.
Kenyon Martin is there now. So, and they're trying to get a couple other players.
J.R. Smith. They're actually looking at getting a good fraction of the Denver Nuggets team from a few years ago.
Exactly.
Chauncey is going to remain with the team, obviously,
Yeah.
and I think his leadership
help.
qualities are still going to be there, because you're right, they do have Mo Williams. They have Randy Foye taking his place, who's been solid off the bench.
Really good.
Really great. Sort of somebody we didn't hear much about. He was a 7th pick several years ago, but he wasn't really getting any name recognition, but now he is, obviously starting for the Clippers, who are in 2nd place in the West. But yeah, I think Kenyon Martin is going to help Blake and DeAndre and you know, Reggie Evans get those boards, and he's a pretty good scorer too.
Yeah, you know, I think that we all just wonder, with all of the new pieces that fit in, like, do they all fit? Are you putting a guy in who doesn't really fit, or you know, how does that work out? But I guess we won't know until we see him play. So
I think I'm seeing a lot of camaraderie with the whole team. You know, like DeAndre Jordan is big on Twitter.
Yeah, he is.
And
he likes to tweet.
And he has got a game going now where he catches his teammates on the plane sleeping.
Yeah.
And he'll just say, got him, and he's gotten almost everybody now, and they'll put things on their face, and it's like a bunch of kids. It's kind of like a college team in a way that really gets along with each other.
They do.
And that's a big reason why they're winning, I think.
Well, and DeAndre, he's definitely the jokester of the group. I mean, there's no question. You go into the locker room, and he's the one joking around, making fun. You know, everybody's around Blake getting an interview, and he'll say, yeah, Blake's the big star here, you know, and he's busy with the media, and he'll just be sitting by himself, but he's a lot of fun, that's for sure.
Well, they're young, so they're trying to, you know, not put so much pressure on themselves, because they're getting outside pressure, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, DeAndre is definitely the joker. He's the best dancer,
fun.
according to a lot of our Clipper Spirit dancer friends.
We might have a little surprise for DeAndre a little later in the season. That would be fun. All right, we have to talk about the Lakers. They finished their Grammy trip at 3-3. But the question that everybody's talking about, is Kobe the best Laker ever? Now, you know, 5 years ago, I probably would have said he's not the best Laker ever, but he is right up there, no question. He's got to be right up there. I know Magic, Kareem. There are so many Lakers that are just, you know, the best ever.
Well, those are probably the 3 best. There's Jerry West.
Jerry West,
Elgin
right?
Baylor.
Yep.
But I will say now, and you know I go to a lot of Laker games, biting my tongue a little bit, but I love
just a little bit.
Kobe Bryant's game. As a fan of
You have
basketball,
to.
Kobe Bryant is the best player since Michael Jordan.
I agree.
And he is the best.
Wow, Will just said that? Wow, that's pretty.
Kobe Bryant's the best Laker player ever.
Wow.
And he's 5th all time. He's going to pass Jordan probably in about a year or 2, which we're sure he'll play. That.
Now, how do you think Shaq felt after Kobe, you know, passed him on the list? Do you think that he was okay with it, or do you think that he was a little bit jealous?
Well, publicly he, you know, he gave him congratulations,
He did.
and he actually called him the greatest Laker ever himself.
He did. But
he did.
Was that just for us, or did you think he really thinks that?
It was just for you, I think.
Maybe.
But his game is amazing, and I do realize, and everybody who watches the Lakers should realize that you're watching the greatest player of our time. He's on a different level than LeBron James.
Anybody else? I think he is too. I'm so tired of hearing about LeBron James. I think that LeBron is not even close to Kobe. He's just not. Until he wins some of the rings, I just don't see it.
It's rings, and it's also just the way you close a game. It's the ability to win and not just score. But he has an ability to score at the right times, and you know he doesn't have the players around him right now, and that's what we're seeing from the Lakers as far as this 3-3 road trip. But Kobe is certainly deserving of all his accolades.
You know what? Mentally too, he just goes to a different place than most players, and you can, you know, we've been fortunate enough to we see it on a nightly basis. It's so different than a lot of players. Chauncey went there too. You could kind of see it in his game too. He's just one of those players that just, you know, kind of goes into that zone and stays there.
Well, as far as young players, and especially with the Clippers, Chris Paul is the guy who reminds me the most of Kobe Bryant.
Interesting.
He hit a game-winning shot against Philadelphia.
Oh, that's right.
Several games ago, and you know he's got that killer instinct. He's a really nice guy.
Yes, he's a good guy.
He's great with the media. We're starting to get to know him and learn about his personality, and he's a solid man. But on the court, he's kind of got that killer instinct.
Yeah. Not quite Reggie Evans' killer instinct, but pretty good. Pretty good.
Right.
Okay, we have to talk about Jeremy Lin. Linsanity. You've been
Linsanity,
hearing all about it
yeah.
for the last few days. This guy comes out of the D League and scores 38 points on the Lakers. How did that happen, Will?
Well,
Who
he
is this
got
guy?
28 and 25, and he averaged about 30 points in this 5-game winning streak that the Knicks put together.
Unbelievable.
He's just a great ball handler. He's got a Steve Nash quality and an Isaiah Thomas quality too. Like he can get to the rim. He's got a great shot. Like when he gets in rhythm, he hits shots just like he's in practice, you know. And Tyson Chandler and these guys that are around him are able to get him open shots because the Knicks have a pretty good, solid front court with Amari Stoudemire. But he did all this without Amari and without Carmelo. So
what's going to happen when they come back?
Knicks fans are hoping that it doesn't
Mess
ruin
up.
everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Carmelo is a guy who gets the majority of the shots there. He gets the most shots of any New York Knick. And that could
change.
That could end Linsanity.